Hello and welcome. Namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. This is Express News, where we get you the day's top 100 developments from the country and the world in under 30 minutes. Here goes. President Draupadi Murmu addressed the valedictory function of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations at St. Thomas College, Palai, in the southern state of Kerala. Addressing the gathering, the President highlighted the rich and ancient history of Kerala and emphasized the enduring importance of education in today's world. The President also inaugurated the observance of the Mahasamadhi centenary of Sri Narayan Guru in Kerala on Thursday. She also visited the Mahasamadhi of Narayan Guru before the conference. Addressing the event, the President said that Sri Narayan Guru was one of India's great spiritual leaders and social reformers and inspired generations to believe in the ideals of equality, unity and love for humanity. Earlier, President Murmu unveiled the bust of former President of India K.R. Narayanan at Raj Bhavan in Thiruvananthapuram on Thursday. And speaking on the occasion, the President said that K.R. Narayanan's life is a story of courage, perseverance and self-belief. At the invitation of Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually attend the 22nd ASEAN-India Summit on Sunday. PM Modi, along with his ASEAN leaders, will jointly review the progress in ASEAN-India relations. A book titled Modi's Mission, authored by renowned lawyer Burgess Desai, based on PM Modi's extraordinary personal journey from a humble childhood in Vadnagar in Gujarat to the Prime Minister's office, will be released on Friday. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal met German Federal Minister for Economic Affairs and Energy in Berlin. The discussions focused on deepening Indo-German ties in key areas, and talks also covered Germany's commitment to finalizing the India-EU FTA. Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav visited the War Room at Rail Bhavan on Thursday to review the Railways' preparations for the upcoming Chhath festival. The Railways Minister interacted with officials, monitored real-time train operations and assessed crowd management and passenger facilities at key stations. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh released the Defence Procurement Manual 2025 at a function in New Delhi on Thursday. Rajnath Singh also addressed the Naval Commanders Conference in New Delhi on Thursday. He commended the Indian Navy for its readiness, professional capability and strength during Operation Sindoor. The third edition of a GEM handbook for the Indian Navy users was released by Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi during the inaugural session of the Naval Commanders Conference in New Delhi. The second edition of the Indian Navy's Biennial Commanders Conference 2025 commenced on Wednesday with the opening address by Chief of Naval Staff. The Navy Chief commended the collective dedication, professionalism and sustained commitment of the Indian Navy. The third Army-to-Army staff talks between the Indian Army and the Royal Army of Oman took place in New Delhi from Wednesday to Thursday. The discussions focused on enhancing bilateral defence cooperation. The Indian Air Force participated in the multinational air combat exercise hosted by the Spanish Air Force at the Gano Air Base in Spain from the 20th to the 31st of October 2025. The exercise aims to foster mutual learning, enhance interoperability, sharpen air combat skills, and strengthen defence cooperation with friendly nations. Central Industrial Security Force Director General, along with senior officers of the force, paid tribute to the brave hearts of the forces at the National Police Memorial in New Delhi. The Indian Army's Gajraj Corps is organizing the Saddle-Borne Warriors Motorcycle Rally from the 26th of this month till the 1st of November. Doors of the Kedarnath temple were formally closed for the winter season on Thursday following a special worship. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami was present on the occasion. Indian equity indices ended with marginal gains on Thursday, with Nifty up 22.8 points at 25,891.4. At close, the narrower BSE Sensex was up 130.06 points at 84,556.40. The Indian rupee ended higher at 87.85 per US dollar on Thursday as well. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December was priced at 123,637 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th of December maturity stood at 148,677 rupees per kg on the MCX. The State Bank of India, the country's largest public sector lender, has won 2 prestigious awards from Global Finance World's Best Consumer Bank 2025 and Best Bank in India 2025. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has praised the SBI's achievements. The awards were presented at the Global Finance Awards ceremony during the World Bank and IMF annual meetings 2025, affirming SBI's leadership in innovation, financial inclusion and customer excellence. Brent crude oil futures jumped more than 5.1% to $65.75 per barrel on Thursday after Donald Trump said he would hit 2 Russian oil companies with hefty sanctions. Amazon on Wednesday said it is speeding up the automation of its warehouses with the help of artificial intelligence and robotics designed to manage warehouse teams more efficiently. Tesla is recalling over 63,000 cyber trucks due to a front parking lighting defect that could impair oncoming drivers. The automaker has issued a free over-the-air software fix for the affected vehicles. US President Donald Trump has imposed sanctions on Russia's 2 largest oil companies on Wednesday for the first time in his second term, accusing Russia of a lack of commitment towards ending the conflict in Ukraine. The US President said that he hopes new Russia oil sanctions will make Putin reasonable. But Russia has termed Trump's move to sanction its 2 biggest oil companies as counterproductive, and the EU's move to shut its LNG supplies ineffective. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova also said on Thursday that Moscow will deliver a painful response to any move by the European Union to seize its frozen assets. EU countries on Thursday formally adopted the 19th package of sanctions against Russia, which includes a ban on Russian liquefied natural gas imports. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed very important new US and European energy sanctions on Russia on Thursday, but said more pressure would be needed on Moscow to secure a ceasefire. Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Thursday said he is confident that European leaders will take steps in addressing the use of Russian frozen assets despite Belgium's concerns. On the sidelines of the Brussels summit, Zelensky met with French President Emmanuel Macron in the city on Thursday. Leaders will focus on finding consensus on how to use Russian immobilized assets held in Europe to help fund Ukraine's reconstruction. 12 people were killed and 5 injured after an explosion at a military plant in the Russian city of Kupiansk on Wednesday. Authorities confirmed that the fire at the plant had been extinguished. US Vice President J.D. Vance said on Thursday that Israel will not annex the West Bank as senior US officials are in Israel to secure lasting peace with key issues including Hamas disarmament, Israeli troop withdrawals and the future governance of Gaza. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is visiting Israel, also cautioned that the Knesset's annexation efforts could endanger President Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said that the US military killed at least 5 people in strikes on 2 alleged drug-running boats in the Pacific on Wednesday. US President Trump told reporters he may take very serious action against Colombia due to its role in the international narcotics trade. Trump also suggested that Colombian President Gustavo Petro was a drug trafficker leading his country to ruin. Meanwhile, Petro himself has announced that he will take legal action in US courts after Donald Trump threatened serious action against Colombia over drug trafficking. Peru deployed military personnel across the capital Lima on Tuesday following the declaration by the country's president of a state of emergency aimed at curbing rising crime. Tens of thousands of Viktor Orban's supporters marched in Budapest on Thursday to show support for the nationalist premier on a key Hungarian anniversary as he faces the most acute threat to his 15-year rule from a pro-EU opposition party ahead of the 2026 elections. Northern Ireland on Thursday found a British soldier not guilty of murder in the only trial of a member of the British Armed Forces over the 1972 Bloody Sunday killings of 13 unarmed Catholic civil rights marchers in Northern Ireland. Paris's Louvre Museum director, Laurent Descartes, offered to resign as he admitted a terrible failure in the museum's security. The museum faced a $102 million jewel heist on Sunday. More than 100,000 New Zealand teachers, nurses, doctors, firefighters and support staff were on strike on Thursday, demanding more money and resources for the public sector in a sign of growing discontent with the country's centre-right government. A massive fire in Philippines' Manila destroyed more than 1,500 homes and displaced over 600 families on Wednesday. The blaze burned for more than 8 hours before being contained. No fatalities were reported. The National Citizen Party of Bangladesh on Wednesday raised serious concerns about the impartiality of the Election Commission, calling for the entire body to be reconstituted ahead of the upcoming national elections. And we're taking a quick break in Express News, but there's more to come. Stay tuned to DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy and let's resume. Well, the Indian Met Department has issued a weather alert for isolated very heavy rain over Kerala, Mahe and coastal Karnataka till Friday. Heavy showers are also likely across Tamil Nadu, Goa, Andhra Pradesh and Rayalaseema. The IMD has issued a yellow alert for North and South Goa till Sunday as well. Thunderstorms with lightning and winds up to 50 km per hour are likely across coastal areas. AQI levels in Delhi NCR continue to remain above 300 on Thursday. GRAP 2 measures remain in place. A thick haze engulfed Lahore, Pakistan on Thursday, pushing air quality into the very unhealthy category with an AQI of 255. Heavy rains triggered a landslide in eastern Turkey, sending a giant boulder tumbling down a hill. A cab driver narrowly escaped after a bystander warned him in time. A powerful spring storm is battering South Island with destructive gales and heavy rain. Flights, train services and public offices have been suspended as emergency alerts remain in force. Tropical storm Melissa has triggered red alerts in 8 provinces and the National District. Authorities have begun evacuations as heavy rains and flood threats persist across the country. Japan's iconic Mount Fuji recorded its first snow of the season 21 days later than usual. Cold air and thick clouds brought the long-awaited winter white cover over Yamanashi Prefecture. A Pemex pipeline damaged by floods leaked crude oil into the Pantapec River in Alamo, Veracruz. Cleanup operations are underway as contaminated waters threaten nearby communities. Heavy morning fog blanketed Turkey's Balıkesir, reducing visibility to nearly 20 meters. Traffic police warned drivers to move cautiously on main roads amid poor visibility. India celebrating Bhai Dooj with joy, marking the cherished bond between brothers and sisters. Sisters perform tilak ritual, offer sweets and pray for their brother's long life and happiness. Devotees across India are gearing up for the 4-day Chhath Puja beginning on Saturday to worship the sun god and Chhathi Maiya. From decorated ghats to homemade thekuas, The air is filled with devotion and festive spirit. Lisbon has opened its historic cemeteries for guided night tours by torchlight, now in their 4th year. The initiative highlights the city's architectural and cultural heritage through after-dark exploration. Marches in Caracas, Venezuela honored newly canonized figures Jose Gregorio Hernandez and Carmen Rendiles. Over 1,000 migrating cranes have died of the H5N1 bird flu virus in northeastern Germany in what experts call a catastrophic outbreak. Volunteers collected carcasses from meadows and lakes near Linum, a key resting site. The bird flu outbreak threatens other wild bird species, including geese and ravens across the region. Authorities have urged quick carcass removal and strict poultry precautions to prevent further spread. At Mexico's Valle de Cartinas festival unveiled towering papier-mâché skeletons celebrating traditional Mexican trades ahead of the Day of the Dead. The 5th edition features over 3-meter tall sculptures displayed amid marigold fields until November. Once a frontline military base near China's coast, Taiwan's Dadan Island is now open for restricted cultural tourism. The site, rich in history and symbolism, draws visitors exploring its wartime relics and resilient spirit. Mount Repos Beach in Queensland has welcomed its first nesting turtles of the season, including a 70-year-old flatback. Rangers hope for another record year as conservation efforts boost turtle populations. The 2025 Jingdes in Ceramic Expo concluded with exhibitors expecting orders exceeding 10 billion yuan. The global fair showcases ceramics from across 30 nations, reinforcing Jingdezhen's legacy as the porcelain capital. Beijing's historic Baita Temple neighborhood is witnessing a cultural revival with trendy cafes and shops revitalizing its ancient lanes. The area now balances its centuries-old charm with a modern urban spirit. The 31st EU International Commodities Fair opened with record participation featuring nearly 4,800 booths and over 180,000 expected buyers. Exhibitors are showcasing consumer goods, electronics and new energy products. China and New Zealand are deepening cooperation to protect migratory seabirds traveling thousands of kilometers between their coasts. Conservationists hope World Heritage Wetland protection will safeguard vital refueling stops. Egypt's colossal Ramses II statue now stands proudly in the Grand Egyptian Museum's main hall after a complex relocation from Cairo's Ramses Square. The 3,200-year-old monument, weighing 83 tons, was transported using vibration-absorbing technology. Britain's King Charles III and Queen Camilla met Pope Leo at the Vatican. The two prayed together at the Sistine Chapel, the first joint worship between an English monarch and a pope since Henry VIII's split from Rome in 1534. Entertainment now, and popular series Emily in Paris returns with its 5th season, releasing on the 18th of December. The trailer was released showcasing Emily's blooming romance with Marcello and her adventures in Rome. Jon Bon Jovi is back on stage after 3 years post-vocal cord surgery. His band announced the Forever Tour, kicking off in July 2026 at Madison Square Garden before heading to the UK and Ireland. Singer Lizzo is facing a copyright lawsuit over alleged uncleared samples in an unreleased song snippet referencing Sydney Sweeney. The complaint claims she used parts of Win or Lose We Tried owned by the GRC Trust without permission. Creator of American crime drama Sopranos, David Chase, is bringing a limited series, Project MK Ultra, based on John Leslie's book. The thriller follows CIA chemist Sidney Gottlieb and his secret LSD mind-controlled experiments during the Cold War. Swedish DJ Axwell will perform at Sunburn Festival 2025 in Mumbai this December. The festival will run from the 19th of December till the 21st. Indo-Canadian singer Jonita Gandhi and the electrifying EDM duo Progressive Brothers will open for global artist Enrique Iglesias in his upcoming Mumbai concert. The AFI Film Festival kicked off in Los Angeles with Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen. Bill Gates will make a cameo in Smriti Irani's Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi 2. The promo shows him greeting with Jai Shri Krishna. The original show first aired in 2000. Prabhas announced his new film Fauzi on his birthday. The poster teases the bravest tale of a soldier from the hidden chapters of history. Indian comedian Kapil Sharma announced that Kis Kis Ko Pyar Karun 2 will release on the 12th of December this year with a motion poster. Sports now and batter Matthew Short guided Australia to a 2-wicket win against India in the second one-day international at Adelaide. Australia have clinched the 3-match series 2-0 as they had won the opener in Perth. Earlier, Indian opener Rohit Sharma and Shreyas Iyer slammed half-centuries to revive the Indian innings after early jolts. Spinner Adam Zampa was a pick of the bowlers for Australia with 4 wickets in 10 overs after conceding 60 runs. South Africa beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the second test on Thursday to draw the 2-match series. Indian cricket authorities have petitioned the country's Supreme Court to make match-fixing a criminal offence. India's Sports Ministry has set the 14th of November as a deadline for feedback on the draft rules of the National Sports Governance Act. The top Indian duo of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy were knocked out of the French Open badminton tournament in the first round. However, rising Indian shuttler Unnati Hooda has progressed to the pre-quarterfinals. The 18-year-old won the match after losing the opening game. Indian Greco-Roman wrestler Vishwajit More won the bronze medal in the Under-23 Wrestling World Championship in Serbia. Former world champion Vladimir Kramnik faces disciplinary proceedings over public attacks on US Grandmaster Daniel Narodsky, who passed away at 29. Shanghai Masters champion Valentin Vacheron suffered a narrow defeat by a top seed Taylor Fritz in the first round of the Swiss indoors tournament in Basel City. Jude Bellingham's goal helped Real Madrid maintain their 100% start at the Champions League with a 1-0 victory over Juventus. Liverpool ended a 4-game losing streak with a 5-1 win at Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. And Max Verstappen will chase a 4th win this weekend at the Mexico City Grand Prix as he bids to heap more pressure on McLaren duo Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And that's all we have at the moment in this edition of Express News. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.